Hey everybody, Tekking101 here. Now I know what you might be thinking. Tekking, what kind of drugs are you on? And I'm like, well, when was I ever not on drugs? But other people might be thinking, you know, the end of Bleach is nigh, and that kind of sucks. How is it going to end? Well, I have no idea, but I got some theories. So here we go. Bleach fanfiction number 5, bitch! Yeah! A lot of people are kind of wondering how Yugioh could possibly be defeated within the limited number of chapters we have left, considering he's so overly powerful and he stripped Ichigo of all of his powers. How could he possibly be defeated? Well, let me set the scene for you. Ichigo gets back up and he have Rukia and Renji and Orihime and Chad and Uryu. They all come up from behind him and they're like, we're with you to the end, buddy. And he's like, yeah, you're my friends. You're where my real strength comes from. And then they step through the portal, and Yugioh's there about to reshape the universe. And he turns around, and he's like, Ichigo, Rukia, Renji, Chad for some reason, and Uryu, you've all come to confront me, but there's no way you can defeat me. Ichigo then delves into a 2-chapter long tirade about how friendship is the ultimate power that you will never take away from him, and all of his friends join hands, comrades in arms. Uryu gives him his lost Quincy powers, Chad gives him his lost Hollow powers, Renji and Rukia give him his lost Shinigami powers, and I don't know, Orihime gives him a blow. The love required to defeat the enemy. And then, with that one final scream of victory, Ichigo creates a sword that's the size of a goddamn skyscraper, swings the edge down, and it crushes Yugioh like a goddamn gnat, and he explodes into a million pieces, and the universes are reconstituted to where they were, and Ichigo lets out a shout of victory, and the series ends. And at the same time, coincidentally, the entire Bleach fandom all stand up after reading the chapter, and they walk out of their houses and their mother's basements, and they look up to the sky, and they all at the exact same time, like a hive mind, collectively shout, "Bullshit!" So loud that every living creature on the planet hears it. Dinosaurs that were slumbering beneath the earth in fossil form are reconstituted to life. The entire crust shatters, and that's how the end of the world occurs. Alright, so right before Ichigo's about to give up from his lost powers, Uryu appears behind him and he slaps him on the shoulder and he's like, "It's okay, Kurosaki, I'm here. I got the power of the A and we're gonna shove it right up Yugioh's A." And they walk through the portal and Yugioh's there, more triumphant than ever. And Uryu's just like, "You can't win, Yugioh, because I'm gonna use the antithesis powers that you gave me." And Yugioh's like, "Wait, didn't I take those back?" Uryu's like, "No, you didn't. I took them back once again." And then he uses his antithesis powers, and he flips it, and Ichigo receives all of Yugioh's power, while Yugioh becomes a powerless husk. And he's like, "Wait a minute, this makes no sense. That means I gave you the power to defeat me. How stupid could I possibly?" Bam! At that point, Ichigo summons all the shadows that Yugioh pierced him, and he runs them through, killing him. And then Ichigo and Uryu, they look at each other, loving embrace in their eyes. And they move in, and they appreciate each other's concern, and they share a bro fist, and they walk off into the sunset together. A job well done. It turns out Yugioh was a good guy! Yeah, that's it. You didn't see that one coming, right? Yugioh decided that I'm gonna let everyone think I'm the villain, but I'm actually saving people from the Soul King and the Zero Squad. Yeah, it turns out that they were actually trying to destroy the entire Soul Society by running it into a segmented caste society where only the rich are powerful and the poor are subjugated. Think about it. You get to die, and then you go to this other reality which is supposed to be paradise, and you end up living in poverty for the most part. How fair is that? It's the iron grip of the Soul King, and Yugioh's like, "I will not stand for this injustice." And so he killed the Soul King, and he reshaped the universe into a true utopian paradise, like the Matrix without the robots. And Ichigo comes in, he's like, "Whoa, I didn't know you were the good guy." And Yugioh's, "Yes, I am, but in resolve, I now must become the new Soul King." And Yugioh, all of his hair falls off of his body and his epic stash fades, and he becomes a vegetable just like the Soul King. And the entire world knows he was the good guy all along, and we all worship the Yugioh, or the Yahweh. The end. Okay, Yugioh's the same guy he always was. It's just that he's so overpowered and nobody can match him, so he just ends up winning. You know, Ichigo and his friends get up, or Hime heals them all. It's like, what are we gonna do? I don't know, we're gonna figure something out. They walk through the portal, Yugioh's there, turns around, just once over and slices Ichigo right in half with his sword. And then Orihime's like, oh no, Koten Zashun! And Yugioh just grabs the fucking thing and throws it back and slices her right in half. And then Chad comes to punch him, but Yugioh's quicker, and he just blocks and knocks fucking Chad's fucking head right off his body. And then Renji tries to retaliate with his Bankai, but Yugioh just appears behind him, grabs his hair, and then scalps him by pulling off his freaking hair like a pineapple. And then Rukia steps up to plate, and Yugioh is very nice to her. He doesn't hurt her. He just goes up to her and sings a little spell over her cute little perfect body, and she falls in an eternal sleep, just like Sleeping Beauty. And then he places her in a nice little tower in a pocket universe where she'll never be hurt again. And then Yugioh reconstitutes the entire universe and rules over all of us as the one true God. Okay, so in this version, Ichigo just walks through the portal alone. That's right, he's going solo. And Yugioh's like, what could you possibly do by yourself? You have no powers. And Ichigo's like, yeah, you're right, I got no powers. But I have something I've been saving for a long time, right for this perfect situation. Master Ball, go! Damn straight. I'm the very best like no one ever was! Okay, so Yugioh has the entire cast on their knees right in front of him, all lined up. I'm not just talking about Ichigo's group, but everybody. Kenpachi, Toshiro, Byakuya, Shunsui, Nanao, Yumachike, Ikaku, Mayuri. Just everybody's just lined up right in front of him. And then Yugioh rocks out from the shadows, puts a big-ass baseball bat on his shoulder, and he's just like, I simply just can't decide. Huh. I got it. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a Tora by his toe. If he hollers, then let him go. My mother told me to pick the very best one, and you are it. Anyone moves, anyone says anything, cut the captain commander's other eye out and feed it to the secretary, and then we'll start. You can move, you can cry, you can scream. Hell, you'll all be doing a lot of that. Ichigo, you've come to face me one last time, but this time I will not hold back. I will use my true power to face you. Let's duel, Ichigo Kurosaki, for the one final time. What the fuck? Those are Magic the Gathering cards, you idiot. What the fuck did you just say? No! So Yugioh steps through his gate. Right as he's exiting it, he notices he's in a pure white space, and Yuha's like, what is this? I was supposed to be somewhere else. This doesn't make any sense. And then, from behind him, all he hears is a perfect sexy voice stating, Bankai. And then out from the ether comes Sosuke Aizen, completely released of his restraints. He's out of the chair, ladies and gentlemen, and he goes up to Yugioh and he's like, your plan was almost perfect. You almost win, except you didn't account for one thing. And Yugioh's like, what is this? My whole body's fading away. And Aizen relays the information. The entire Bleach series was merely my Bankai this whole time. I invented you! At which point, Yugioh disintegrates. Ichigo, Uryu, everyone just gone. Soul Society forever. The pages that Kubo is writing disappear. And then, Kubo looks behind him. And in the darkness of his studio, Aizen appears. And he's like, you're real? And he's like, yes. And they both share a glance. And Kubo just nods. He's like, what are you gonna do now? And Aizen's just gonna be like, I got a whole new universe to rule, man. And he just walks out of Kubo's house. And we don't know what's gonna happen next. He could be anywhere. He could be me. He could be you. He could be Deadpool. Okay, exact same thing as what I just said, except it was the chair all along. Alright? Had to mention that at some point. Chair, turns out it's a sentient furniture god that created the entire Bleach universe and destroys Yugioh under its mighty upholstery. Alright, so despite all logic and all tension being sucked out of the battle, Rukia Kuchiki by herself walks through the gates, pulls out her Shikai, activates her Bankai, Hako no Togame, and freezes Yugioh solid. Walks over, points the sword right at him, stabs him with it, he shatters into 1,000 pieces. Ichigo appears right behind her like, I can't believe you just did that. She turns around, her hair fluttering in the breeze as the ice melts behind her. And they take each other by the hand, and the Sage of Six Paths appears and gives Ichigo and Uryu a share of his power. Okay, so Ichigo steps through the gate, and it turns out it leads directly to World War II era London in our universe. It's in the middle of the Blitz, you got the freaking bombs dropping from Zeppelins, and Yugioh's plan this whole time was actually to ally with Adolf Hitler to rule our world. But then, just when all hope is lost, and Ichigo's like, oh no, how am I supposed to defeat Yugioh and Hitler? Alucard shows up behind him, bites his neck, turns Ichigo into a vampire, and now the fight's on. Vampire Ichigo and Alucard fight against Adolf Hitler in a robot cyborg suit and Yugioh Bach. And I don't know how that fight would end, anyone's guess, but it would be pretty damn awesome. Okay, I know the other ones might have been a little bit out of the realms of possibility, but here is one that is really real. It's the realest end of this series that Kubo could really write. Okay, so Yugioh just absorbed all of Ichigo's powers and incorporated them back into himself, right? Oh, his Quincy powers, Shinigami powers, but he also has his Hollow powers in there. So then, Yugioh inadvertently poisoned himself, and he dies in 6 to 8 months from cancer. You know, depending on how he responds to chemotherapy, and, you know, there's certain medicines that are, you know, always coming out, but, you know, his hospital bill is going to be racked up because Yugioh didn't have the proper insurance, so he'll be driving himself to an early grave whether or not he really succumbs to the cancer. There's a brief remission period where you think everything's going good, and Hashwolf and all the other Stern Raiders show up at Yugioh's house, which is slowly being deteriorated from his lack of health. He can't do anything on his own, and they give him presents, but then the cancer comes back, and then it's just a horrible experience. He loses all his hair, and he dies.